Hey folks, Inclusive Mall Designs here, and this is part 7 of the Takom 135th scale Leopard C2 Tank. Now, I realized it's been about 8 months since we've seen this last, so in the last 4 or 5 days I've been working pretty hard on this, and I wanted to show you where we're at with this project. So, I've been working hard on the tracks, and when I say working hard, I mean working hard. I'm pretty much bent over my desk for the past I'd say 3 days alone just on the tracks itself, and then the last day on other parts. But if you're used to like the Tamiya tanks and stuff, you're just used to the vinyl track where you pretty much just throw some weathering on it, wrap it around the road wheels, and you're pretty much good to go. Not so much with the Takom tracks. You're pretty much building it piece by piece by piece, like right down there. That's how it comes. It comes on a sprue, and you put it together, like I said, piece by piece. But before I kind of get into that, I want to show you, kind of a trick I've learned, I guess, to make it somewhat easier. Now, it's not a trick I learned on my own. It's just from doing some YouTube searches. One from Channel Switcher there. He's done this tank, and thank goodness for him, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would have stepped on a landmine or two. What he recommends is when you have the sprue, which all of these pieces, except for that piece right there, that's actually vinyl. That's what holds the tracks together. But for the horn and for the shoes come on there. It's actually attached on 4 points. But what I did is I actually cut these here, and that just relieves the tension. See, it's nice and loose here. It just relieves the tension. Otherwise, it's easy to break these little points right in there. And if you break those, the horn won't fit. Like in the middle there, and then the tracks won't fit together. And then it's a mess. And then your tank will be pretty much useless unless you do a diorama where your tracks are blown off or something like that. You do get some spares, but you only get like 8 or 9 spares roughly. So I mean, if you start breaking more than that, then you're going to be screwed, or you're going to have to start just gluing stuff together, and it's just not going to fit right. So even if you are releasing tension, what I did first is I just heated this up in water. I put this in warm water for a little bit. Just took as much tension off as I could, and then just slowly cut this prior to cutting these off the sprues. And I didn't use like clippers. I actually just took my X-Acto knife like that, and then just slowly cut them off like that. Just slowly. I did break a couple. I only broke 2 doing it, so luckily that wasn't too big of an issue. So after doing that, and you get 3 of these sprues, so that took hours on end. It wasn't so hard to do with the horns. That was easy. Just cut. That was simple. And these here are vinyl. They just go in the end. So that was simple. So once that was all done, what I did is I use a Sharpie for the tracks. That's all I use for coloring the tracks. And I just take a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and then I just go over top. That's how I get the pads to do that color, the black or whatever. And then I do it on the inside right there. That's very simple to do. Just take a Sharpie, okay? And then once it's dried, sorry for the shakiness, once it's dried and stuff, and then I just come over to do this right here. And then I take my Optilong paints. I use Starship Filth and an oxidized blue. And I make this kind of slurry or whatever you call it. Like, I'm not too sure, whatever. Starship Filth and an oxidized blue. And then I take my paintbrush like that, and then I just it all over the tracks, just willy-nilly, kind of all over the place. And then I just take a brush like this. This is not on while it's on the tank. I should have mentioned what I do is I just lay it in this box like this, and then I just kind of, with gloves, I usually handle it in my hand and just kind of wipe it all over. And then I just take my foam like this, and then I wipe it off the pads, just the pads, as you can see. And because it's an oil paint, and then that's the end result. Just like that. That's that simple. And because I'm using that foam or whatever, it doesn't touch, you know, the underpiece is there. You know, because it's an oil and stuff, you're going to want to let it sit for a while, right, to dry. But there you go. That's how simple it is to do your tracks. That's just using the oil paints and the Sharpie pen. Using a Sharpie, it doesn't like leak paint or whatever I'm trying to get at, I guess you can say. And most of the time, the only tracks you're really going to see anyway are like from here to here, because the model sits flat, right? And using the Starship Filth and the oxidizing blue, it kind of gives that rust look effect. And then later on, we can come in with like the dry brushes and add some rust to it and stuff like that as we go along. But I feel that gives it a really nice effect. See? There we go. So the longest, the time-consuming part is building the tracks, right? Because you're doing it piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. And you're trying your hardest not to break, the little link pieces, right? So, and like I said, I didn't do any painting, or priming or nothing. I just put it all together. And then I did the Sharpie over the pads. And then I put a flat coat. I don't know if I mentioned that. Maybe I should have mentioned that. Then I put after the Sharpie went down, I sprayed it with a flat coat. Then I did the oil paint technique. That's it. That's all I did. And I think it turned out rather nice. So moving on. Other things I moved to or did is the machine gun. That's just a gunmetal. And then I used a cavalry brown for the buttstock. So that was fairly simple. And then the jerry cans. I'm going to see if I can get some better lighting on this here, guys. And then the jerry cans. That's just using flat black spray. And then it does have painted on straps detailing. But I wanted to use real straps. And I have seat belts from a 1/24th scale Hurricane that I wasn't using. And these are like the real fabric ones or whatever, the laser. So I just cannibalized it because I wasn't using it. So what I did is just took them off of here, as you can see. These ones right there. I got a couple more, and I just cut them off of that. And then from the B25 kit, I had some extra buckles. Like right here. Where are they? Right there. I just used one of those, or a couple of those, as you can see right there. I just got to do a little bit of weathering on those, and then for the jerry cans, the water cans there, I just used a dry brush white. I just put white all over them. It just gives a little more realism to the black buckets, or the jerry cans, not the buckets rather. I got one more to put on. That'll be an olive drab color. So I got the Pioneer tools yet to put on, a few things like that. A lot of knick-knack kind of things are going on to the tank now, things like that. More weathering to come. We'll go on that. The lights obviously do light up, as we've seen in prior videos. So now it's going to be like putting the two shells together. Getting the battery installed, but I mean, the way I have it set up, the turret will come off obviously in turns, so the battery can come in and out. So that'll be an easy installation for switching the battery in and out. So I'm not too concerned. I still have to put the actual plastic clear parts for the headlights. So that'll come. And for the I still have to put decals. What I'm going to do is just kind of some black decals to simulate the glass for that. But that'll come. But you know, to sum up the video in 10 minutes to do all the work. Oh, the road wheels. That's the what I wanted to cover. Because we never covered that in the last video. And the same thing applies for the road wheels. A Sharpie works for the road wheels as well. I know you can get masking kits out there, but if you have a Sharpie out there, just go along the wheel well. It's simple because there's a bit of a lip around the wheel. I can see if I can see that lip. You see where the green meets the black there? All you have to do is get a Sharpie, right? Go, you know, it fits nicely around the edge, and just go around the wheel. Let's see if I can lay this on its edge. Ah, perfect. Now, because I don't have a Sharpie on me, basically, if you pretend this knife edge here is a Sharpie, you know, you just take a Sharpie and go around, right? And then just fill it in with a Sharpie. Color your entire wheel with a Sharpie. Okay? And then you take a flat clear, spray it, and then you dry brush like a gunmetal color all over the wheel, and then you spray it again with a flat color, and then you can weather it down, and then that simulates a metal kind of wheel look. So without using paint and without using a masking kit and all the rest of it, a simple Sharpie will give you that that look of a wheel, and you get that nice you know, look without having paint leak or paint bleed, I guess you can say. I'm trying to get the lighting right because it's a bit of a glare here, but you get that nice circular look with no bleed and you know, overspray look, and that's simply using a Sharpie. So there we go. I find that works rather well, but you can be the judge. So it works on tracks, and it works on the tank wheels. Might be a lazy man's way of doing it, but that's the way I like to do mine anyway. So there we go. That's the progress anyway so far on the C2 tank. Sorry for the long hiatus on this project, but it's coming along. All the pieces are coming together as far as the diorama goes. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do the Can-Am Cup type of idea, but it's definitely going to be in the training format, like in Wainwright, that kind of thing, with some troops, you know, at rest, you know, having a bit of a break. So it's going to be kind of a cool setup as far as that goes. But there we go. Work continues on the Canadian C2 tank, and look forward to your thoughts and comments on this one there, guys. So again, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment as always. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.